Hello everyone, my name is Hugh Blaine. I'm the president of Claris Consulting, and this is my video blog. A video blog that takes the oftentimes esoteric world of management consulting and puts it into real terms for real people so they can go back getting real results. Today I want to talk to you about two words that oftentimes can just create a lot of chaos and a lot of turmoil in our professional and personal relationships. The two words are intent and impact. And my objective in this video blog is I want to talk to you a little bit about what those two words really mean to one another and what's the connection between our intent and our impact. And I also want to make the connection between intent versus impact and leadership effectiveness and team effectiveness. And at the end of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you with 3 things that you can do that if there is a gap between your intent and your impact, you'll be able to minimize or mitigate that gap and actually create more effective and working relationships either at home or work. So that's the intent. So let's talk about those two words, intent versus impact. Now, I have a particular belief that when people go to work, their intent is to do good work. That the vast majority of people want to do good work, they want to make a difference, and they want to do something that will be meaningful long term. That's their intent. But oftentimes what happens is that their impact being the way that their intent lands on other people, the way that their behavior influences other people, that there's a gap between those two words. And I will be really bold, and this is a bold statement. I believe 100% that there must be 100% alignment between your intent and your impact. There must be. Because here's what happens. Here's the positive side. If your intent equals your impact, then people will see you as credible. Because you do what you say you're going to do. You say one thing, you behave accordingly, so you're seen as credible, you're seen as someone who will do exactly what they say they're going to do. Credibility means that there's 2 words that really are important for us as leaders and team members, which is that means that trust and respect go up. So if you do what you say you're going to do, if your intent is to do one thing, and your behavior lands on people in a way that's consistent with that, then credibility, trust, and respect go up. So here's the thing I want you to just think about though. I know lots and lots of people whose intent is to be open, to be collaborative, and to even be a hands-off manager. They don't want to be a micromanager because they've been micromanaged somewhere in the past. But sometimes how that may land on people is it could be perceived as that you're somewhat disengaged. That your hands-off nature is, for some people, too much of a hands-off. So we need to calibrate that. So when your intent doesn't equal your impact, you know what happens? People will guess as to what your intent is. And you cannot afford to do that. You cannot afford to do that, and here's why. I have a good friend I've known for 35 years, and Virgil, if you're watching this, this is a shout out to you. Virgil, who is a PhD in industrial organizational psychology, once told me when we were having a conversation about this intent versus impact piece, he said, what % of the time do you believe that in the absence of information about what your intent was, what % of the time will people guess negatively about your intent? And I said that it may be somewhere around 55, 60%, and he said, no, it's over 85% of the time. Think about what the implications are. If your intent is to do good, but it's seen by other people in the wrong way, then they are walking around not necessarily having the highest amount of, you're not having the greatest amount of influence with them. So we need to calibrate that because credibility is at stake, trustworthiness, and so is respectfulness. So how do you do that? 3 things. So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 C words that will allow you to see yourself into a more optimistic and a more effective, influential future. So here are the 3 C words. Clarify, communicate, and calibrate. Let me tell you what those 3 words are. First and foremost, as a leader or as a team member, I think the very first thing you have to do is clarify what is your intent. Clarify your intent. If your intent is to be an enabling, empowering, someone who is a hands-off, I hire the smartest people, I put them into the best jobs, and I allow them to do their best work. If that is your intent, clearly define it for yourself. First of all, for yourself. And then we go to the second C. Communicate that. Communicate that to your direct reports so that there can be no ambiguity, no misunderstanding. So if you go to your team and say, my intent is to enable you to do your best work and to take all the obstacles away from any barriers that get in your way. My job is to get rid of those. And so you explain to people what your intent is and why that is important to you. So you've done the first two things. You've clarified and then you've communicated. And here's the third one. And sometimes the third one can be, by some people, they would see this as a little bit more risky. Here's what the third one is you calibrate your intent with the way that you impact people. And how do you do that? Let's say at the next team meeting, you just say, you know what? I've been giving something some thought. What I'd like to give to you is, here's my intent as a leader, and this is my intent. My intent is to do this, and here's why that's important to me. But what I want to do is I want to know how the way that I'm currently doing it lands on you guys. And I want to know if there's a way for me to become more effective in that. Because if there is, it will be beneficial for me to know, and it will also be beneficial for you so that we can have a conversation about it. So 3 things: clarify, communicate, and then calibrate. So those are the 2 words, intent versus impact. My intent was to engage you in a conversation about how to become a more effective leader. I don't know what my impact is until you respond to the video blog and tell me, well, yes, you hit the mark. No, you didn't hit the mark. So I'm willing to calibrate how well I did in this particular video blog. So go to the website, tell me what your thoughts are. It's Friday here. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.